I'm delighted to introduce our next speaker, David Epstein. David has a distinguished background, including being a professor, advisor, and investor. He serves as executive director of the Susilo Institute for Ethics, part of the Questrom School of Business at Boston University. He is a professor of practice teaching ethics and business in society. David also helps start companies as an investor, advisor, coach, and he periodically has direct involvement in operations. His passion is educating entrepreneurs and students alike to do good and to build companies that will significantly change the world for the better. He is a Distinguished Careers Institute Fellow at Stanford University and has been a serial entrepreneur and a venture capitalist in Silicon Valley. David's topic is one that is close to and at the forefront of artificial intelligence conversations from the boardroom to the classroom. His topic here is artificial intelligence and its ethical considerations. In his remarks, David will explore what ethical issues should each of us be aware of? And are we advancing human intelligence or making ourselves dumber? Is disinformation going to overwhelm facts? These are important and essential topics that David will be exploring with us, and I eagerly await his remarks. And so with that, I turn this over to our next esteemed speaker, David Epstein. David?
Artificial intelligence is perhaps the most exciting technological development of our time. Like the Industrial Revolution, computers, and the internet, AI is and will fundamentally change every part of our lives, from personal interactions, access to money and safety, the environment, government, education, and every aspect of business. When asked if it's overhyped, I can only respond with, "You ain't seen nothing yet," to quote Bachman-Turner Overdrive. AI is present and growing in importance in sales, marketing, public relations, operations, development, human resources, and finance. Just 1 year since ChatGPT wowed just about everyone, the rave around it, Bard, and the just released Grok has set AI progress into hyperdrive, with tens of billions invested just this year in startups. From the generative AI solutions, we are barreling toward artificial general intelligence, which is AI that's basically indistinguishable from human thinking. Practitioners, faculty, and graduates must not only use AI that exists, but also be proactive and anticipate and embrace new applications. AI will become our co-workers and members of our workforce in ways we have a hard time imagining. But in Einstein's words, it has become appallingly obvious that our technology has exceeded our humanity. There are many ethical issues that arise, like embedded bias, privacy, transparency, false reliance on its output, equity, environmental impact, and job displacement. The data used to train AI will likely become polluted with misinformation, disinformation, and malinformation by both just wrong data and bad actors. In marketing, sales, and public relations, I'd like to highlight the creepy factor. Customer engagement has always been about promoting products and services, meeting customers' needs, and responding to customers' issues. To do that, we need to understand the customers, the interaction between our products, and the community that we serve. We've progressed over time to learning more about our customers from personal discussions and focus groups to data collection. As we collected more and more data, we recognized issues of privacy and attempted mostly self-regulation in protection and anonymizing the data. But as more data accumulates, And we use more and more specificity in the person or people that we serve. Privacy is difficult to achieve. Today, AI can get more granular as we find the non-obvious correlations between customers that us mere mortals might never find. As AI scientists can tell you, the actual correlation made by these models may not be evident or even traceable. Because of that trait, AI may produce results that perpetuate biases embedded in the training data. That is, historical prejudices that permeated previous human decisions. It may, for instance, bring back redlining without our specific intent. AI has the capability to use very personal information about your health, nightlife, friends, internet searches, or previous employment that is unique to you alone. Not only does this allow discriminatory results, but can create the creepiness factor, which make us all feel invaded. As marketers, we want to back off a bit on using such granularity. While we can monitor the results for identifiable biases like gender, race, socioeconomic classes, we may not know what to look for if we are unintentionally biased against traits such as educational strata, or neurodiversity, or medical and health conditions, or even if we have affiliations with people of a certain characteristic. It will give rise to inequitable treatment, having a societal impact that methodically divides us into privileged people with opportunities not presented to others. A hard-to-define multidimensional class system emerges without intention. Transparency, control, concerted effort, to discern over over-personalization, and respect for privacy is necessary as we are to combat this inevitability. Another ethical issue I'd like to highlight is the recurring theme at this event, and that's creativity. We are in real danger of over-reliance on AI. So why not use AI to create copy for an ad, or a magazine article, or a product brief? How about quickly coming up with 5 ideas for a pitch, or 25 different images that might showcase our brand? This is the promise of AI, while being the gateway to massive changes in employment, artistry, and dare I say, humanity. It is hard to avoid that usage. Our productivity goes way up, while our work product appears very good, or even just good enough. Companies will gravitate to use this for cost savings, speed of production, reduced reliance on outside creative firms. As creators in this model, we spend less time on projects and become just editors and reviewers and supervisors of our AI colleagues. We give them direction, then select and hone their results, coaxing them into the product we think is best of those presented to us. Besides the loss of jobs, that is, we need less creators, less contractors, and smaller departments to produce the same amount of material, we may be losing more than that. We will lose human creativity since we give AI the first crack at the design or copy we want to produce. While we might convince ourselves that this is no different than collaborating with other humans to brainstorm some possible solutions, we are, in fact, using the mass amount of knowledge already in history based on the training data. This data does indeed keep building as more solutions are added, but the completely new ideas that are not based on historical creations may be hard to come by, or maybe even impossible. This gets to the idea of what creativity actually is. Can AI put together things that are completely non-obvious? Like frogs mouthing "bud, wise, Well, maybe, but maybe only because we humans thought of it first. Now that it's memorialized, AI can take the idea of using other animal sounds to make new copy. Will that be as effective as frogs the first time around? Not sure. But this example illustrates that human creativity can go very much beyond a large language model. We can reserve judgment when we get to the level of general AI, which, though, is years or decades away. So there will be two types of jobs left for marketing professionals and perhaps equivalents in many other positions in the company. One is the true human creative ones. This will be our top performers of the workforce. They are necessary because they are so good, and they have the ability to mix human creativity with AI systems to truly create surprisingly new results, delighting customers. Then there will be AI operators, those that maybe are called prompt engineers, who learn to manipulate AI output into things good enough to satisfy the needs. There may be the same number of top performers in the future as there are today, but prompt engineers and those using AI to do the common creative work will be fewer than those workers who were replaced. In the aggregate, many who rely on AI to do the work, we might experience a dumbing down of our workforce. If students, for instance, rely too much on AI to do their work, there will be fewer that reach the highest performer level, and they will find less job opportunities available for operating AI. Students need to understand that they are demonstrating they are not needed in the workforce if their work product is mostly generated by AI. We hear proponents say that productivity increase will expand the work needed in other areas, just like prior disruptive technologies. The truth is, we just don't know. There is something fundamentally different about AI. These prior technologies were purely tools. They worked side by side with workers and could not operate independently, or were programmed with predetermined algorithms that did what it was told to do. While AI can work as a tool, it can just as easily be given a task with little or no instruction on how to accomplish that task. It is much more than a spell checker or a grammar reviewer. It can be the creator of content. Although it doesn't inherently have intent or purpose, it can be told what the intent or purpose is, and it will use that information to come up with a solution independently. Economists may be able to tell us if demand for new products will grow along with our population. In the near future, however, it is more likely that productivity increases will allow companies to reduce costs, reduce headcount, and employ AI to give either good enough results or sometimes better results when it comes to more timely and personalized customer service and support. Recommendations then, learn to use AI. But don't use it as your idea generator for all projects, as this makes you replaceable by AI. Finally, let's briefly address equity. We know that bias among job availability, housing, opportunities, and financial instruments like credit cards and loans all contribute to inequities among the population. AI makes some decisions opaquely and difficult to discern. At the same time, AI availability itself may become a privilege, as we are seeing the best AI tools now charge a use fee. Not having access to what necessarily is needed to compete in the new AI world will exacerbate the gap between those who qualify for the most lucrative jobs. Related is our reliance on just a few companies, like Microsoft, Google, Facebook, Amazon, maybe xAI. Their AI systems will get the most attention and improvements. They will also acquire some of the best startups now getting funded. Put together with their ability to create the best AI and the ability to use it to grow without increasing headcount, they will squeeze out smaller companies, and the power will remain in those few hands. Do you trust them? Internal to these companies, management and shareholders accumulate the bulk of the profits, increasing the wealth differential. Indeed, productivity enriches the executives and shareholders much more than the great majority of the workforce. John Adams, in 1780, wrote, "I must study politics and war, that our sons may have liberty to study mathematics and philosophy. Our sons ought to study mathematics and philosophy and geography, natural history, naval architecture, navigation, commerce, and agriculture in order to give their children a right to study painting, poetry, music, architecture, statuary, tapestry, and porcelain." Unfortunately, AI is a long way from replacing the human failings of politics and war. But we can imagine it replacing at least some, or maybe most, of mathematical, commerce, and agricultural studies and duties, fulfilling John Adams' prophecies. That leaves society to support the human desire to create and enjoy the arts. This is perhaps the strongest argument for universal basic income, that is, the sharing of the projected productivity gains profiting the very top few percent, giving back to the masses that support those companies and their customers as their customers, and who can continue to enrich them. There is real promise of AI, the final frontier of automatable human labor, leading to societal self-actualization. So let's embrace the fruits of AI and use it ethically.